Friends, I want to tell you about an unpleasant incident that happened to my colleague Sally. I think this story became a life lesson for her. Sally is a very modest woman, and I would never have thought that under the mask of deep decency and even some snobbery such hidden pitfalls could lie. Recently, on the occasion of the completion of a major project, our team was admitted by the management and gathered for a corporate party. We were treated to a lavish banquet in the most prestigious restaurant in the city. At first, as expected, there was a ceremonial part, but then the fun began. It was exceptional. Splashes of champagne, talks and jokes, dancing, and so on. By the end of the noisy feast, tired but happy, we could barely stand on our feet. I remember we were all pretty tipsy, and Sally couldn't even string two words together. Getting into her taxi, she couldn't explain to the driver where she needed to go for a long time. "Well, it's, Festive Street." "Well, she mumbled, barely moving. The taxi driver was already getting nervous. "Well, I told you. House 10, 8th of March Street," Sally continued, and then she passed out. "Bro, take her wherever she wants," I gave the taxi driver a parting word, seeing that Sally out of connect. Luckily, the next day was a day off. I vaguely remembered everything that had happened the day before. On Monday, we all met again at our workplaces and started to discuss the past party loudly. Only Sally was not herself. Her eyes were swollen and tear-stained as she sat silently, staring at her work computer. "Sally, why are you so quiet and upset? Haven't you recovered from the fun yet? How did you get home?" colleagues asked. Sally was silent for a long time, avoiding communication with the team. At lunch, she broke down in tears and told one of the employees her sad story, which I overheard. That evening, Sally didn't remember how she got home. Alcohol had completely shut down her consciousness, and instead of her home address, she gave the address of her lover. "But I know I shouldn't drink. I never expected this from myself," Sally complained. In short, she arrived at her lover Paul's place, and seeing her condition, he didn't try to figure out what was going on, but gently put her to bed. Sally, fully convinced that she was lying in her bed in the arms of her husband, fell asleep sweetly. In a half-sleep, she heard the phone ringing, so insistently that I had to pick up and answer. "Well, who else can't sleep?" she said, still half asleep and drunk, not understanding anything. Someone on the other end was swearing. Thinking it was Paul, Sally replied, "Are you calling me at home? What will my husband think? I don't need family quarrels right now." Then, glancing at Paul lying next to her, Sally realized with horror what she had done. After a short pause, her husband's recognizable voice came from the other end. "I see you're good there. Don't bother coming home." "That's tough," sympathized her friend. What happened next? What happened next? I tried to call my husband and somehow explain the situation, lie one more time, but he turned off the phone. In complete despair, I blamed my lover for everything, gathered my things, and went home. The conversation with my husband was tough. It turned out he had long suspected me of infidelity, after frequent delays at work and constant texting on my phone, supposedly with a friend. He periodically had doubts about my fidelity. He wasn't specifically looking for a reason to catch me cheating, but I got caught anyway. Paul and I had been seeing each other even before I got married, and after the wedding, it somehow didn't end. I wanted to break it off with him because I love my husband. "So tomorrow I'm moving to my parents' house. I've already packed my things," Sally sobbed. After listening to the story to the end, I, of course, sympathized with Sally. But on the other hand, if you love, don't cheat. And if you can't handle drinking, don't drink alcohol at all. So who's to blame now?